Hi, I'm Jean-Pierre Landry. Your possibly next warden here today in this beautiful spot, the Litchfield Hall, which brings back memories to me from as far as when I was a teenager and we used to gather here. There was fire pits and we'd come at night, sit around the fire. And one of the things that I like is the view, as you can see. And it shows to me the immensity of our territory, and which, I've always appreciated and loved. And that's why I've been in the Pontiac for almost 60 years now. I would say that the main reason is that I am tired of seeing us going down the hill. Being the most, the poorest, or one of the poorest MRC in Quebec. More or less, we're not moving ahead. We're not, it's not by feuding and battling and, wasting time on petty matters, that we're going to get out of our lethargy, So, and that's what's getting to me. There's so much that can be done, and it's not being done, So I don't promise to change the world, but I can't do worse than what's been done in the last 8 years, which is not much, if you ask me. So you need to be close to the people. You need to understand their needs by being implicated in all the different organizations throughout the year. I know I don't know all of them, but I know most of the needs in the area. And of course, being a poor area, well, the needs are greater. And also you have to be bilingual, at least. You're dealing with the provincial government. Everything takes place in French. I think that by not being either bilingual or French, we're missing out on a lot of things. We need to revive let's put it this way, the patriotism of Pontiacers, okay? That's how the game is played in Quebec City, like the more you have people behind you, supporting you, and the more pressure there is, greater the chances of you having, results. So I think it's to try to get the community behind you. But for that, you have to be transparent and relay the information. To be able to take criticism and to accept your faults and to respect people too, that is a big thing. Those are certain values, I think that can help make a good warden. Yeah, so... First, the biomass file, which was axed for whatever reason. Anyways, it was turned down. I won't get into that subject, but I find it very unfortunate because, like I had mentioned earlier, we need to find something like a niche, a specialty, like not 2x4s, like with all due respect, but you just look there almost every week, there is a sawmill that closes. It's supposed to be temporarily, and then they prolong the date and so on and so forth. So we have to find something else. And this project, and I have seen some of the part of the studies and documents that pertain to that project, and it was very interesting. So I would explore that avenue if there is any chance of reviving it. And the other thing too is that, unfortunately, if we don't have enough hydroelectricity to welcome new industries, there's not much we can do. It's one of the big deterrent to our economic development is electricity. Because without any electricity, we can't attract any big businesses or even household development. Eventually, it'll be tough because after the public consultation that took place last spring, I believe, with Hydro-Québec, I found out that from Cadieux Station in Bryson all the way to Allumette Island, more or less, it's a big extension cord. So, not very safe, you know. An extension cord, the more you add on to it, the bigger chance are to get the breaker to blow. Fait que that would be one of the major priority, economically wise, you know. And then the other thing too is communications. And when I'm talking about communications, it's all types of communications, internet, cell phones, even roads and trails, because a road is a communication means. It's one way of communicating. And if we don't have proper transportation or proper communication networks, like I should say, well, that's pretty hard too. C'est d'avoir des bonnes relations, des bonnes communications avec les différents partenaires, autant les investisseurs que les développeurs, que les différents paliers de gouvernement, autant locaux que provinciaux. Je pense aussi que c'est de pouvoir s'exprimer dans les deux langues officielles. Je pense que c'est très important. Et puis, d'établir un climat de confiance aussi. Il faut que les gens sentent qu'ils sont bienvenus ici. Je ne veux pas dire qu'ils ne sont pas bienvenus, mais il faut qu'il y ait de quoi qui les attire, dont entre autres la confiance de venir s'établir ici, soit pour y rester ou pour développer des projets ou de l'industrie ou quoi que ce soit, même des commerces. Yes, a very unfortunate and regretful incident happened in one of my classes where, there was an altercation with a student, which, like I say, I truly regret. And but there was a whole context to it, which people aren't aware, and that can explain in part how the incident could have happened. I'm not trying to find any excuses or whatnot. I know that what happened is inexcusable, but sometimes when you don't look after your personnel, you don't take care of them, or you don't follow them, properly, these things can happen, And yes, like I say, it's very unfortunate. And I was willing to go back teaching the very next day. But they had told me, well, wait for a call, from us. And so I was suspended with pay in the meantime and never heard back since. And if you want to know what happened exactly, I had a turbulent class and they were all piled up at the door 5 minutes before the end of the class and anxious to get out. And I was trying to hold them back. And one of my students kept kicking in the door. And after numerous times that I told her, please stop, do not, she won. So I hit her on her leg that she was using to kick the door. And unfortunately, I guess, well, of course, she complained about it, and that's how it happened. But like I say, I have never heard back since, never had a chance to explain myself, or, that's why I say there's a whole context behind it, which people aren't aware. Premièrement, it's to get to know what's at the base of the conflict. I'm talking in an adult word. And trying to resolve it to the best you can of your abilities. But I'm a very conciliant person. I'm not a troublemaker. I'd sooner work in laughter and joy than in, like un cadre très restreint. Puis ça, là, c'est comme... Donc, I think that the environment that you create will have a big impact on eventual conflicts or diminish conflicts that are existing. So that's the way I see it. Maybe it's a little philosophical, but it's moi. Because I'm good. No. Yeah, I think that with all the knowledge, my experience, as much my work experience, because I've always worked in the government, for the provincial government, and we dealt with many agencies. And so right there, that's a good base. I've been municipal councillor in 2000 to 2002, and again for the last 8 years, so I have good knowledge in municipal affairs. I've sat on many board of directors, so, like all the assembly procedures and decorum and whatnot, and I'm very at ease and familiar with that. I know the needs of the area for being on all of these different organizations. I'm perfectly bilingual, which I think is a major asset in this position. And my knowledge of certain files and my leadership, my ambition, the pride I have for the Pontiac, the best I can do is give it my best and see what comes out of it.